Okay, we want to call the meeting to order. This is a special meeting of the Lopatcong Township Council. And in order to start, we would like to take a moment of silence. And then we do the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising a notice in the Star Gazette and the Express Times and by posting a copy on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Councilwoman Schneider. Here. Councilman Belcarro.
Here.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Here.
Council President Chesler.
Here.
Mayor McKenna.
Okay. Do I have to go back into?
You should call for a motion to come out of executive
All right.
session.
I'll call for a motion to come out of executive session.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Executive session was held for approximately 55 minutes tonight. We apologize for the delay. The topics of discussion were contractual regarding the auditor, personnel, litigation regarding the lawsuit filed by Mr. Imhoff, and attorney-client privilege regarding the 2015 appointments. The meeting minutes from executive session will be available at such time as the need for confidentiality no longer exists. One addition before public comment. Number 2 on the agenda, in addition to authorizing the Township Attorney to prepare an answer on the lawsuit filed by Township Resident Joseph Imhoff, is also to authorize the mayor to execute an agreement for the clerk's defense of litigation pursuant to Township's Defense Indemnification Ordinance, Chapter 16.
Okay. I want to move to open public comment on agenda items only. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So this is open public comment time. Anyone has a comment? Please come up to the podium, state your name, address.
Catherine DeVos, 2 Sundance Way. I have 2 comments on the agenda. First, at the last meeting, Ms. Schneider mentioned several times that one of the reasons for the semi-monthly meetings were to discuss the budget. I don't see any agenda item that relates to the budget on here. Second, you have agenda items that were tabled at the last meeting and they're tabled again this meeting. This kind of seems redundant and a waste of our time. Those are my comments.
Thank you for your comments. Has anyone else a comment? Okay. I see no one else wanting to comment, so I motion to close public comment.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. I'd like to make a comment now that it's closed and no one else has a comment. I did not say that this meeting was for budgetary purposes. I said we have a lot of work to do and the budget will be coming up and we need to get this work off our desks before the budget season comes up. So I just want to clarify that. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to motion to open to new business. No, old business? Old business. Motion?
Motion.
Second. Roll call?
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor McKenna.
Yes. Okay. Going down the agenda for old business. Item 1, approve executive session and regular session minutes for November 12th, 2014.
I'm requesting to table number one. It still has not been resolved, and I am still seeking some advice from our legal department whether these minutes are valid or not.
Why don't we, since the meeting was not taped, so we don't know exactly when we started open session in this, why don't we just take that part that's in question out and get these minutes approved? That's what I would suggest. Redact that part that's in question and just get these minutes approved.
Okay. I'm happy to have that happen.
Okay.
Make a
Are you
motion.
doing
So
that
do
before
we
the
have
motion?
to, so make a motion to,
I would make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
as amended? Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from November 12th as amended.
All right, second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Valcarrow?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. All right, the next item was explained in somewhat by Katrina before we started, to authorize the township attorney to prepare an answer on the lawsuit filed by Township President Joseph Eamhoff. All right, so we have to discuss that in public here, so I'm going to ask for, is this
We
for-
need a motion.
Yeah, we need a motion. I make the motion. Second?
Second.
All right. Discussion?
I guess, do we need to explain any of what the second part is?
Did everyone understand the second part?
We need a Katrina, could you explain?
Yeah, would you,
Yeah.
Katrina, would you?
Sure.
I didn't know you were doing them separately or you were doing them together.
I don't know.
Oh, together, we did them together, right?
The second part is to authorize the mayor to execute an agreement for the clerk's defense of the litigation pursuant to the Township Defense and Indemnification Ordinance, Chapter 16. What that means is the township clerk was sued in her individual capacity in addition to the township. The Chapter 16 of the Township Code gives her the right to have her own attorney and the township to pay her bill at a rate not to exceed my hourly rate. She has provided counsel with the name of her attorney, and it's on for them to authorize to do that.
Okay, so we need to vote. Did you make the resolution?
Yeah.
You did, okay. When we have a second? Okay, so then we'll,
So
Yep.
I'll roll
Roll
call that.
call.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Yeah.
Councilman Valcarrow?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
yes. The third item is fireman's clothing allowance, and there is a chart in my packet here that someone might want to explain.
Hi. Yeah, if you, before we make the motion, what I did is I put together last year we passed an ordinance establishing a clothing allowance, and the stipulation in the ordinance is that we would set the amount by resolution. What I did was I had both assistant chiefs who are here with us today in the back. They went through their roles, and they figured out based on that 40% of the fire duty, they would have had 15 last year. So I kind of used that as a baseline, figuring we'd have at least 15 who made it once again. And 40% of their duty needs, they need to make 40% of the drills, calls, and meetings for their fire department. So what I did was I just put together a chart so you can see the amounts. I listed, for the benefit of the public, I put in groups. If we had 15 participants qualified, 20 qualified, 25, 30, 35, 40. Currently, on average, we never have any more than 35 firemen in the department, and probably about 25 are active. And like I said, last year only 15 made that 40%. And then on the other side, I gave 4 amounts that I would ask council if we could tonight, and it doesn't have to be tonight, we could always do it in 2 weeks, if we could determine an amount and set a resolution setting the clothing allowance. And for the amounts, I put 150, 175, 200, and 250. So on their chart that they have in front of them, they have the totals for each of those tallies of people plus the different dollar amounts. So for instance, if we had 15 again like this year and we gave them a clothing allowance of $150, that would be, it would cost us in total $2,250. If we decided to give those 15 people $250, it would be $3,750. So
Can we, I just, for the public who wasn't here when we passed that ordinance, this is for their personal clothing allowance, not
Yes.
for their equipment that they
Right.
use, not for
Mhm.
their coat or boots or
Yeah,
any-
it's
any of
for-
that. It's for their personal.
And they're given a check, and then, you know, if they need it, they need it, and if it's not enough to cover whatever they ruin, then, you know, this is what, at least something towards it.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know if you want to actually determine that amount tonight, or if you just want to discuss it tonight and come back.
Do you have a recommendation?
I was going to go in with 175.
175?
So for the 15, that would be 2,625. For 20 members making it would be 3,500. For 25, it would be 4,375. For 30, 5,250. 35, 6,125.
All right, so that would
And I don't
be,
know if the assistants have any input on that, or.
And this is, it's as needed. It's not automatically everybody gets $150.
Well, if we decide on 175, it would be only if they make
175,
40% of their fire duty, which includes they need to attend 40% of their drills, meetings, and.
Right, I understand that part, but I mean, if they do go to 40%,
Mhm.
does that mean that they can just put in for,
Oh, we would issue it at the end of the year,
right, but they,
once they do their tallies.
okay, but if they didn't get anything ruined in the fire, they're not eligible to just get 175,000.
No, they are eligible. Yeah, it's actually, it's a clothing allowance, and again, it is to cover any damage to any of your clothing throughout the year. You might not necessarily damage to the point that you want to throw it away, but you're wearing tear. It's also a bit of an incentive to get the firemen out and participating.
Right, yeah, I just didn't want to,
Yeah.
you know, if you're, you know, like if I buy a pair of shoes and they're not ruined, I'm going to go out and buy a pair of shoes because I could get the money.
Oh, yeah, like they could do, if they end up deciding they're just gonna throw away their clothes and spend the money on, you know.
No, I mean, like if
Something
no
else,
clothes
yeah.
were ruined at all throughout the entire year,
Yeah.
does that mean that they don't get the
No,
money?
no, they would get this.
They
This
would
is
get
just-
it regardless of whether they ruin their
Automatic,
clothes or
yeah.
not?
Mhm.
Okay,
Qualifying
just want to
for-
clarify that.
Yeah,
Okay, yep, thank you.
why don't you make a motion then?
okay.
Vice Chair Giuseppe?
I would like to make a motion to establish a resolution establishing our clothing allowance for the firemen based on the ordinance that we passed for $175 for the 2015 year.
Okay, second.
Second,
Any further discussion?
we did review these numbers with our CFO, right?
Well,
Bud-
she's gonna
budget?
put this into the budget. Budget's
Can we
not
do
done
it?
yet.
Okay, roll call.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes,
Councilman Belcarro.
Abstain.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes,
Mayor McKay.
Yes.
thank you.
Welcome. They deserve it. All right. Here's a big one. Designation of official newspapers. Yeah, we had a lot of talk about this, and there's really not many choices. If you go to a big regional newspaper like Star Ledger, the price goes up 10 times, and we're not going to get anything back for that. So we're just going to stay with the same old two newspapers for another year, the Star Gazette and the Express Times. All right, so I'll take a motion on this to keep those papers.
Motion?
Second,
Second, okay. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider.
yes,
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
Councilman McCabe.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes. Okay, the items 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are items that are still being tabled at this time, which brings us to item 9.
Well, wait 1 second. Can we go back to those tabled items?
Yes.
These are tabled because you put together a task force. Can we get an update as to what they're doing? Where are we? How long are we gonna let this go? We need to appoint our professionals. It's important.
Well, they're still with us by virtue of being holdovers, so.
This is true,
no
but it
damage.
would be preferable to appoint them and move on. But do we have a status from our task force?
that's a council report, so that was going to be in my council reports, but if you like, I can do it now, Mayor, it's up to you.
Can we wait to the council reports? We'll get it done.
Well, we're discussing it now, so why don't we just do it? I mean, we had this second meeting in January to take care of business, and as was commented earlier, I don't see us taking care of the important business here. We need to appoint our professionals.
Well, I disagree. I mean, we're taking care of important business. Lawsuits are important business. Advertising our meetings are important business.
And appointing our attorneys are important business as well.
Right,
and
so
our auditors and our computer service and our labor attorney.
Exactly, but we are conducting real business, so we're not just sitting here.
What's the status report from the task force?
Well, we did. You want to talk about it, Mayor, now?
Okay, why not? Give it a little.
Okay, let's do it. So the appointment of our township attorney, right now we are interviewing some attorneys, and we don't have any definitive answers yet. We have not brought them to council yet because there are so many other things on this list to do. So right now we're holding over, and that's our update for attorney. For auditor, we did have an interview this evening. He is a very qualified gentleman who has a ton of experience, has worked with our new CFO. They know each other, they know each other's styles, and the price is very commensurate. So we had some concerns with our council members here. The mayor would like to appoint, but it looks like it's going to be probably a no vote. So he is holding over. Computer services, I've reached out to a Jeff Jewell, and I am awaiting for him to come in and do a walkthrough because our RFP does not really have a lot to go on for people to put a proper bid in. So he would like to do a walkthrough, and so he can give us a proper bid. Labor attorney, same status as the township attorney.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This task force is operating on obtaining other people coming in to get quotes. We have open RFPs. Aren't we in violation by not closing these RFPs?
No, we are not.
First?
No.
The person that came in tonight to do an interview was one of our prior RFPs. So
Yes.
He was.
That's not somebody new. We've had that paperwork already. To make the decision, we have the current auditor and the one that came in this evening. I think we need to at least appoint the auditor. We need to move forward. The CFO needs to file a debt statement, and that has to be done. But again, what's our status here of our open RFPs, and the fact that we have a task force working on obtaining other people coming in with quotes.
Well, they work with each other. You can do RFPs and you can do task force simultaneously. There are no laws being broken.
But this
there is
isn't
nothing saying that
the RFP process was in last December and closed.
Right.
Right. So now we're doing this task force.
It's a non-fair, yeah. Like we're doing
Right.
fair and open, which is the RFP. And then the non-fair and open is this task force. But our concern is, do we need to reject what we brought in to
RFPs.
the
No.
RFPs?
No, you do not.
Katrina, do we need to reject the ones that we brought in?
I wouldn't say you need to reject them. If you're going to go through the non-fair and open process, then that's the process that you're going to follow. I mean, if you're not going to do the open and fair, if you've decided you're not going to do the open and fair, it may not hurt to just formally reject the RFPs, because you can still go to those people who've given you RFPs under the non-fair and open process. But it may be helpful just to let the people know that you're not doing the open and fair process anymore.
Right.
But you are, as I told you in my memo, you are more than able to switch to the non-fair and open process under pay-to-play.
Okay.
Like out of respect for the people who put it, we could, I guess, as long as they know. I mean, my thing is just if we would have done this last year,
Well,
we would have been crucified.
I've talked to all of the applicants, so there's no one that's in the dark right now that's waiting for an answer. They all know what we're doing at the moment. So I have talked to all the attorneys that sent in. I talked to the auditors that sent in. So everyone is fully knowledgeable of what we're doing right now.
And how long are we going to wait before we appoint our professional staff?
Until the mayor finds someone that is appropriate.
I think we've already found appropriate people. And again, it's not the mayor's, it's mayor with consent of council.
Absolutely, but
Right,
he
the
won't.
mayor makes the appointment,
Mhm.
and I'm not ready to make it yet.
Okay, and we'll vote on it
We
when
said
you
our
do.
piece.
Okay. Number 9, approving Mayor McKay's appointments with consent of council. See if we can find those.
Which appointments are we looking at?
These are the, it's 1522 is the resolution number on the top of the page.
I would like to, this is 1522 is Recreation Committee and Economic Development Advisory.
Yes,
Mr. Mayor, I would like to put table Economic Development Advisory Committee. I would like to sit down and speak with you on that and have some discussions regarding the committee. And I think that it would be fair to just take some time and have some discussions as you're doing with your professionals. You know, this is an important new committee in the town, and we'd like to keep it going. And I would appreciate if we could table that and have a discussion. As you know, we've had 2 weeks since our last meeting, and those 2 weeks have been the busiest 2 weeks. We haven't had time to talk. So I have
but
some.
what is your reason? You don't approve of the people that have been?
I have some issues that I'd like to talk to you about offline first, and then if you want, we can discuss it again online at our next meeting. But I would prefer to speak to you first. I mean, we are trying to, you know, work in cooperation and work together. And I think it's important that we both, you know, understand both sides.
There are no sides here.
Well, you didn't discuss any of these appointments with us prior to this piece of paper that we all received, so I would just like to discuss that with you.
Is it been your practice that these appointments are discussed with everyone before they put?
It's been our practice that the mayor had spoken to all of us.
No, it's not.
Oh, I'm sorry, Donna.
It's
Not
not.
you, everybody
Right,
else.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's not. I am part of this
It's been
council.
practice with the
It's not.
majority of council that the mayor has spoken to people.
That makes no sense.
Well, it makes sense. to
It makes
me.
sense.
No, I was not spoken to, so the
You know
practice
what?
is,
I'm really
it's
having
only
this discussion
select
with the
people.
mayor, and
Only
I'm
select
asking him
people.
to take it offline in the spirit of cooperation, and let's get this right, and
They're the
We
same
make
names as on the
2
last
weeks ago, this
list.
Well,
yeah,
that's
2 weeks ago, we
concern.
had the same professionals also, and we're still not appointing them.
I can tell you 90% of them will be appointed. It's just she has some concerns she wants to talk about.
So
I
let's
think
talk
that,
about them.
I think that if Marina said that there's some concerns, and it's between her and the mayor to sit down and discuss those issues. I'm not on NEDAC, and the rest of us here aren't on NEDAC, so I'd like to, you know, I would agree that the mayor and Councilwoman McCabe would sit down and discuss those issues, and then come back with their recommendations.
Thank you.
So then, with respect to the Recreation Committee, the Economic Development Advisory Committee, you wish to table this?
I'm just speaking about
resolution?
economic development. You can move forward with rec committee if you prefer, unless someone else has a comment on that. Are we okay with rec committee?
Yeah, they're coming anyways. Yeah, we already met this month.
Okay. So I'm just speaking towards economic development.
Well, I guess I have to go along with you because you want to table it, so we will table it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And we'll resolve it by next meeting and make the appointments.
All right. Moving on to the next item.
We
What?
can table the whole thing. Make a motion to table?
The recreation too?
Yeah, we can table it. Mhm.
That's one. Can't vote on half a resolution. I don't know if you can.
That's fine.
Okay, motion to table.
Isn't that
You need a
Tom?
second.
Tom has to table, right? It's Tom's.
No, it's with advice and consent.
Yeah, so we can table. But doesn't he have to put forth the motion first? Anyway.
Because if he put forth the motion, they would just vote it down. So it's, I think he's
The motion to
consented
table it.
tabling it, but if Mr. Mayor wants to make the motion, he can make the motion to table.
No, I don't want to make it.
But I made it.
All right, so you made it now. And you have a second. Is there any further discussion?
Nope.
Okay, vote, roll call.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Delcaro.
Yes.
Councilman McCabe.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one is the mayor's appointments to township boards, which is where? Here it is. The board we're making appointments to, well, actually, what we're doing is we're revising what we had made before because there's some ambiguity in the records as to who sits in certain seats. But the ones that we can make is Class 1 for the planning board, and that will be the mayor. Term expires in December of 15. Class 2 is going to be a reappointment of Wayne Deegan. Term expires in 12/31/15. And our one Class 4 that no one disputes is for, will be Mark Corral. Term expires 12/31/18. And we had two other Class 4 appointments that are on hold pending the town attorney's final review of conflicting appointment records, which is expected shortly. As to alternates, Douglas Liptak, and his term will expire 12/31/16.
That was alternate number 2, right?
It's number 1.
That was number 1.
Believe me, the records are such that we'll never know.
No, it
I
says
don't think that's
two.
because.
He wants to just say alternate.
Okay.
Just say alternate.
There's one in a current term.
Alternate 1 with respect, or the other alternate, so I'm not sure which it is. Appointment is on hold pending town attorney's final review of conflicting appointment records, which is expected shortly. It should also be noted that the emergency management official, Gary Wolf, may attend planning board meetings as he deems necessary. So those are my appointments. They don't need a resolution. They're made. And we will go to the, I guess we can go out of old business, so make a motion to leave old business.
Motion.
Uh,
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, same thing going into new business. Motion,
Motion.
second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And to new business, we have Resolution 1535, which is authorizing application for South Warren Municipal Allowance Grant in the amount of $44,080. So we signed that. It's so we can get a grant, and we sign it with the other mayors. The second one is to authorize me.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
We need a motion.
we need to motion.
That's right.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Delcaro.
Yes.
Councilman McCabe.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes. Okay, next is to authorize Mayor McKay to execute agreement to participate in the South Warren Municipal Alliance Program.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, discussion?
This is the
Yep.
same as last year, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Delcaro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Okay, yes. Third item is to authorize the sale, I guess it should read, of the 1986 GMC Value Van and the 1997 Pumper, HME Central States Pumper, to Oxford Fire Company. They have made an offer of $6,000 for both pieces of apparatus.
Motion.
Motion?
Second.
Discussion?
So they're going to buy the 1986 van and the 1997 pumper. Are they aware? Oh, okay.
How bad it is?
Okay.
Yeah, it's in
It's
there.
in there?
Yes, it's in there.
Yeah, it's in their letter.
And where is it at? Where is the pumper now? Oh, okay. So are they gonna come and get it? So we're, okay. And there's no liability to us if anything goes wrong?
Do you guys want to add anything to this? Instead of, talking back and forth here?
Yeah.
I guess that's the
Okay.
best offer. I mean, that's pretty good for 2 non-working vehicles, right?
Okay,
Great.
thank you.
The township should do this via ordinance. Are we selling it to the fire company or the township?
Do we need to do an ordinance?
Well, when you sell it to another municipality, you don't have to go out to bid, and you can do it by ordinance.
Okay.
Sell it to another nonprofit, I am not sure. I was under the
Yeah.
impression when I was asked to research this that we were selling it to the township of Oxford.
It looks like Oxford Volunteer Fire Department would like to purchase.
So yeah, we can sell personal
So-
property to another municipality by ordinance. Do we need to?
I know you can lease
Right.
property to someone for $1 if you wanted to, if they were a nonprofit qualifying, but I don't know that there's a section in the statute that allows you to sell to a nonprofit. I will have to
Could we
double check it.
see if Oxford Township
Would buy
would
it?
actually buy it?
I'm
and
sure
then
they
they
can work
could-
some out with their fire department, but
Who technically owns it now? Is it titled in the name of the fire department or township?
No, it's
Township.
Mhm.
with your permission, I will just double check to see if there's a way to give it right
To the fire?
sell it right to the fire
Okay.
department. And if not, Beth can reach out to the township and just see if they can buy it
And we can do it by
and
ordinance?
give it to their,
So what we should do with it? Table it?
yeah, I would.
All right, then we'll table that.
Do we need to make a motion to have you look
Yeah.
into it?
Yeah.
Well, I think as long as that.
As long as- okay.
Council is of the approval, then I'm just gonna check the statute and make sure there's not one section that I can't remember.
Okay.
But I think it's only to lease. But if I can
Okay.
find something for you, I will surely tell you about it. But if not, then I'll just contact Beth and let her know. And she can reach out to Oxford and see if she can make it happen that way. And if so, we'll have an ordinance ready for the next meeting.
Okay, and then we.
It should be in a written ordinance.
Okay,
So should we vote yes tonight so that it can move forward while we're, like, yes, pending your research, or?
I would just motion to table it because
Okay.
it would have to be in an ordinance.
okay.
Okay. Right,
I think
motion to
regardless
table.
of how you, whether it's to the fire department or to the township, it would be in the
Second.
form of an ordinance.
Okay.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Delcaro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes. Okay, like to make a motion to leave new business.
Motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, payment of bills.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, discussion, none. All
Yeah.
in favor? Aye.
No, I have,
Oh.
a discussion.
Discussion, that's right.
When we pay bills, we really should be telling the public how much money our bills have been for the record. So it's on the record and our residents know how much we have spent. It also should always be done in public session and nowhere else. I think we are establishing a new practice or policy on doing this in public with a dollar amount.
Good.
We would like to,
public.
we're gonna start to work towards more policies and procedures in these matters. I was very concerned to see such a long list of bills, and I suspect it has a lot to do with personnel turnover. We incurred late charges on some bills. We shouldn't be doing these many bills here at this place. We should be getting them before we come here so we can review them. Now we're faced with a situation where they're due, and we have to do it quickly, and I don't like that. So I don't want that to occur anymore. I want the bills in our hands at least a few days before the meeting, probably the Thursday before, maybe the Friday. But this thing where we get them here at the meeting, we don't have time to really analyze them, and it's not right. So we're going to, going forward, this was an emergency. This was due to personnel issues. So going forward, I think we all agree that we want the bills earlier. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean,
Well-
some of these people should have been paid last month. Some of these people actually, they're from the LAA, they put out their own money early in December and they still haven't gotten paid back. So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
thank you,
They should.
Lorraine, for putting that together. But no, thanks.
But
They
at the
should.
same time, I don't want to hold back on someone who maybe is submitting a bill, maybe yesterday or this morning, and that we should be able to okay that as well. On the flip side of that, sure, everyone's nice to have things that we can advance, but let's face it, in reality, things happen. And you're like, oh my gosh, there's a meeting tonight, I need this approved at this meeting. So I don't want to limit anyone's right to get bills paid based on, a rule that things need to be in a week in
Yes,
advance.
yes.
This is a small enough town that I think we could handle that.
Yeah, but it should be done on a rare exception basis, not as a matter of practice. I think the matter of
Not as a matter
practice
of
should be
practice, but
to get them ahead of time.
Right, but not as a matter of practice, but I don't want to limit someone's ability to do it if they had to, if it occurred. I don't want us turning people away, saying, oh no, you missed the day, too bad. I don't want to turn into one of those bureaucracies, because that's not us. We're here to be flexible. We're here to respond to the residents'
That's correct.
needs.
We have to be flexible, but at the same time, it's not our money and we have to treat it appropriately and accordingly. So we have to,
Although some of these actually are,
well,
like in
you know
the
what I'm
cases like
saying.
the LAA, those, hopefully we can get those on quick, just because it is their own money.
Yeah.
that they-
If we're reimbursing people
Yeah.
who laid out money to
Mhm.
run a sporting event or something, that they should get their money. People can't afford to do that and
No.
hold on to it for months.
Council needs to have a copy of the bill list before we get to the meeting
Right.
because we have no idea what is being spent until we get here and there's no time to look at it. They should be, the list should be done well in advance so we know what we're coming into.
And we usually do. This was just an emergency.
I never get a list of bills in my mailbox. I've asked prior to have that done and it's not been done.
We get the list at our meetings when we come up here.
Right, that's not time to look through, 200 checks that are going out the door.
The CFO used to leave them on our desk the Friday before the meeting. for
No,
anybody to
she
come in and
didn't.
Look at 'em. Yeah,
Yeah, they were.
yeah.
I asked for copies in my cubby so I can bring them
Not
home,
copies.
and she said
Or-
she wasn't going to do it.
Yeah,
So,
no.
we should
Sure,
all have
that's
copies
great.
in our packets.
No, I think that's wasteful. There's a copy available if you need to come in and look at it. I think that's fine.
Maybe
but
just
to-
a list, but not all the vouchers in the back.
No,
I
not
think-
the vouchers, the list.
Yeah.
The list should be
Right.
given to council so they can take it home and look through it, and if they have any questions, there is
come in and
ample
look at the
time
bills.
enough to
Yeah.
come in and look.
That's right. And that's what we're going to move towards. Okay, I guess we have to take care of this list now. We've had it in front of us for a few minutes.
We did a motion in a second, correct?
Yeah, we need a
Did we?
motion. No, we didn't. Did we make a motion on this? Not yet.
Yeah, we made a motion and
that's right.
Did you have a dollar amount
Yeah, we
to
did.
read?
Yes. Dollar amount of the list,
Yeah, that's the final.
$70,970.47.
it includes things like our phone bill, our electricity, the street lighting, paint, the papers, the state health benefits, our engineer, and then we have a lot of things for the LAA. And again, that is separate from the town budget. That's the LAA's money, from the fees, and they're just the people are going out and purchasing things and want to be reimbursed.
Mhm.
And the biggest one is the New Jersey State Health Benefits.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's more than half.
Yeah, no one's disputing paying the bills, but that we should,
But we have
Be
to
able
have a
to
better
review them.
process. We can't go through this every month. Have it
No.
just come up in front of us.
In my time here, this is the first time we ever had to do this, but it's because there's a changeover and, people were knocking down the doors today.
no, that's absolutely fine. Today was an emergency and exception, but it's like the mayor said, it shouldn't be common practice,
No,
and we
it's
should be
not.
able to have a copy to review. They should be in our packets.
Okay. Let's have a roll call on the motion.
Well, we have a motion on
We had a motion in a second.
Okay. Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes,
Councilman Delcaro,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Council President Chesler,
Yes.
Mayor McKay.
Yes.
And again, thank you, Lorraine, for putting this together so quickly.
Is there an issue to be discussed concerning the sewer? the pumps. You want to go to council reports? Are you going to do it in council reports? Okay, fine. All right. Council reports isn't on my little agenda, but I guess we will go to council reports.
Okay.
You already gave one of your
Well,
reports.
yes, I gave one of mine. I do have some DPW news. We have our new truck. I'm sure it will be used tonight. It's up and running and everything's fine with it. The DPW is very happy to have a safe truck to plow the snow off of our roads. So hopefully we won't get too much. They have gone out and they've cold patched some of the major potholes in the area. They haven't done all of them. Cold patch is very expensive. It's about double the price of hot patch. So what they're doing right now is just huge holes that just need to be temporarily fixed. In the spring, they'll go ahead and use the hot patch. So they've done that. Christmas trees are being picked up. There are thousands of them. So it's going to be a long process, but they are in the works and having that done. I'm happy to say that all of their equipment is up and running. There are no trucks that are down right now. Everything is ready for snow and winter, and we're all good. So let's cross our fingers. Also, the DPW has also wanted me to let you know that they will be trying to get the sweeper out, providing that there's not, snow all over. But when the roads are not covered in snow, they'd like to get that sweeper out as soon as they're done collecting the trees and clean up our roads. There's some leaves and some debris on the ground. They're just not happy with how our roads are looking. So they have decided that they're going to get the sweeper and bring that out. So hopefully we'll be able to get the benefits of that and not have some snow there that's, causing them to not be able to do it. And that's all I have.
Mr. Bill Carroll.
Okay. I got a full page here, so I'm just going to summarize. There's a couple of different reports here. I got it from Dan Madigan, our sewer engineer. Just update you on the Route 57 pump station. We are approaching the end. However, I like to use however, there's a couple issues that's going to could hold the completion of it. One is to get a permit from the NJDOT, and that is to cross Roseberry Street and the utility power supply to new station. So what happens is you have to get a permit to cross Roseberry Street to tie in into Phillipsburg sewer line. You need a permit from NJDOT. The second thing, which is more is a bigger concern, is with the JCP&L. You have to bring power in across Route 57 into the new pump station. The problem is with the telephone pole, which Verizon owns. There's one there currently there, and that was the assumption that would be used. However, the assumption, as you always say, you never assume. They have to put a new pole in. Now, in order to get that, and contact the JCP&L to get this installation done. The problem is that JCP&L has not responded back to the contractor to get this in operation. So we're waiting on that. So if anything, that's going to hold off, hooking up the power to the pump station. That's for the pump station on Route 57. We have another issue right now, which is we got the news today, and that is the current pump station on Baltimore Street. There are currently 2 pumps in there, and one has failed. We got a couple bids to repair it, okay, with impellers. The price tag between $15,000 and $18,000. Now, since the new pump station is going to be in operation within about 4 to 6 weeks, that's my guess, the impeller takes that long as well. And also to invest that kind of money into an old pump, it doesn't make sense. So that's not the route we're going to go. We have to address the issue. So that is to bring, the alternate issue is to bring a portable pump station in to work around it. Now, we don't know what the price tag on that is going to be, but it has to be done. Also, we're going to incur fees from the state and also other problems down the line. Putting too much stress on the other pump station, and that also can be catastrophic and fail as well, which will cost us, even twice as much. So that's the thing we're looking into right now. So what I could do and I'll get back to this part here. I just want to finish the rest of my report. The Morris Heights Pump Station, they had a pump control failed, and Chapman had to order a replacement cost approximately $1,500. Now, I'm not sure about the $1,500. We have to put a motion to pay for it, or are they, how does that work?
No, that you can go ahead and pay that bill.
Okay, so go ahead and pay the bill.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I just want to update you also on the Double Park sewer. There's a pipe that's been exposed that goes across the creek. And over time, and during the heavy rains, it's been deteriorating the earth around it, and it's exposing the pipe. So again, there's more deterioration happening to that sewer line, and it has to be addressed sooner rather than later. So those are a couple of things on the, that one is on the back burner, but it has to come to the front burner very soon. But getting back to the Baltimore Street pump station, which is the issue right now, with the failed pump, I want to put a motion and ask council to authorize mayor and also the clerk, Beth, to take action if necessary with regard to the situation on Baltimore Street. And that means whatever means is dollar-wise, not exceeding, of course, the estimated, and that is not the route we're going to choose. So I'd like to put a motion in place for council to approve the mayor and clerk to go ahead, to authorize them to go ahead.
Okay, second.
Okay, there's a motion, there's a second.
Discussion.
Discussion?
Yeah, all right.
Questions?
Discussion. I have some questions. Are you going to continue to monitor this situation and bring that information to me, myself, and to Mrs. Dance?
Yes, I'll be in contact with Dan.
Okay.
Okay, because he's our sewer engineer, and the information as he's in touch with Chapman and also the contractor.
All right, so this thing breaks, we got to do things fast.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we'll have a real mess. Okay.
Well, I'll have Dan contact me immediately with any new news that needs to be addressed, and in turn, I'll
He
contact.
usually does contact, he'll email me on a daily basis.
Yeah,
No
so,
problem.
and I'll get a hold of you as soon as I know.
And he's looking into this portable situation. He's got one on
Yes.
order. Has he done that yet? We don't even know the price. So I guess he hasn't done it.
Not
There's
yet.
companies out there that will mobilize, come in and mobilize the equipment to set up a bypass,
Right.
and it could be just as expensive as it would be to fix that equipment. But it's something that we don't need to spend those dollars on either side. That'll be good if we can get this thing done in the next 4 to 6 weeks and it's hooked up, we're fine.
Mhm.
But in the meantime, if something does break, we have to be ready to go to get this mobilization.
Yeah, we have to have
put
that in
here.
place.
We
It probably doesn't make sense to fix it all pump and reports because the other parts are breaking.
Exactly.
don't have much of a choice when it comes to that because the impeller to repair the old pumper
It'll take that long to get to
is
it.
6 weeks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're between a rock and a hard place right now.
Okay.
So the motion is to allow the clerk and the mayor to make that decision outside of a meeting. So if they
Right.
need to go on the fly, they can. Okay.
All right, do we have a dollar cap on that? Did you
He said it could be as much as it would be to,
buy the new pump?
opt into option 1 or 2, which at the most is about $18,000.
So that would be the,
Yeah, that's what
number.
he's.
And we'd have to come
stated.
back if it was more than that.
Yeah, we're meeting
I mean,
in
if it's
2 weeks,
spilling
so,
into the street, we're just gonna kill it.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
What's your threshold, Beth, for that? What's your threshold?
36.
36.
Okay, roll call.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Belcarro?
yes,
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Council President Chesley?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes.
and that concludes my report.
Lou, that was a lousy report.
Before we move,
That was an expensive
Maureen,
report.
are you ready?
Yeah.
before we move on, I just wanted to say one thing. I just wanted to, before we get into public comment, just say, I want to congratulate anybody who was there or anyone who donated for the spaghetti dinner for the Southwick family. They they really appreciated everything this whole community did, and communities outside of ours. I was there with my family, and it was just a great thing for this community, and just to see everybody come together. So I just want to say thank you to all the residents who participated, donated, sold tickets. Thank you very much, and it was a great thing for us to do.
Thank you. Maureen?
I don't have a report tonight. Thank you.
Okay.
For our committee, we actually met last week, as we usually do. We're getting geared up for our events for this year, so once we finalize everything, we'll come back and tell you. The good news is that today our calendars arrived. They're very pretty. If you want to come up and look at one, I'll leave it here. I have to see the final invoice before I can actually get so we can establish the price to charge for this, to make sure we make all our money back. And I will put that up on the website and the Facebook page immediately, and you'll be able to come and purchase them starting tomorrow. So that was rec. For the other commission that I was assigned to is Shade Tree, and I just need to do some cleanup on that, and I'll take care of that at the next meeting. And again, to reiterate what Donna said, we had our spaghetti dinner on January 10th. We planned for, we said, okay, we better make sure we have food for 700 people, thinking maybe we'd get 300. We had 661 purchased tickets, and that's not including the volunteers that we fed and the performers and that. So we went over our 700 mark. It was a truly an amazing event for this township to see everybody there come together, pulling together. I mean, it was just amazing. Yeah. And I was absolutely stunned by how well that kitchen ran. It was just amazing. Every time I went back there, it was smooth and flawless. I did have to go out and get more food though. I did, yeah, because as one of the cooks was saying, yeah, they're being a little heavy on the sauce, but we had to go get more pasta and more sauce, even though they were told not to. And any extra food we donated to what was that again? Safe Harbor. So anything that was made, we donated there, and anything that was left over that we didn't open. And amazingly, we had, I don't even know how many cupcakes were there. There was 800, and there was none left. People ate them, and then we sold them as well. And we made the fundraiser made over $12,000 for the family. So.
That's wonderful.
Big thank you to everybody who attended, who participated, and who donated. And we're working on the thank you letters now. It's going to take us quite a while. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
I'm glad you called the sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It's sauce.
It's not gravy. It's not gravy.
It's like the Taylor ham pork roll debate. Let's not go there.
Okay, I guess I want to take a motion to open for audience participation.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone have any participation? Sir, would you please come up to the podium and state your name and address?
Olszewski, Highlands Way. Mr. Mayor, two things. The fair and open process thing in the beginning. And Katrina, you said non-fair and open. It is my understanding that the only difference has to do with contribution and donations. Are you able, in layman's terms, explain to the people that the non-fair process and the fair process is essentially the same process, or what the differences are? My second question is, I looked over the board, the boards where people are being appointed to, and I looked at the last agenda, and I see every board. It is my understanding that every board should have at least one appointment every year. Is that correct? They're all staggered, right? One board where there's no new person nominated is the rent leveling board. And I don't know what that will be. Thanks.
I can answer the last question a little bit. The attorneys are working on the rent leveling board because of that certain issues, but one of them is the stagnation of terms. So I'm awaiting their report on that matter. Now, if you could answer.
Yes, you'd like me to.
Please.
Absolutely. There's the fair and open process and the non-fair and open process. They dictate how contracts are awarded in a municipality, whether it's the ones that have to go out to bid are the ones that don't. So for example, the attorney, the auditor, professional services that don't normally need to go out to bid. If you determine that you're going to follow the fair and open process, you have to go out to bid, they have to be sealed bids, and there's requirements for that. If you do that, and you follow the fair and open process, you then can, the committee, the township, there are rules about what donations, political contributions can be made once you do that. If you go with the non-fair and open process, its name right away, it's my opinion, is used by the state to shame committees into using the fair and open process. If you do that, there are some requirements still. There are some disclosure forms that are needed, some business registration forms. There are, I think, additional documents that a person bidding may not have to provide. I think typically the township in the past has required those documents anyway, just because they want them in their file. But if you do follow the non-fair and open process, that means that no one can make contributions, reportable contributions, which I believe in the state of New Jersey currently is over $300. So if you follow one, you follow the other, there's differences in the paperwork that's provided, and it's a difference in reportable contributions. But like, as I can tell you, I think under your fair and open, you've been requesting those same contribution documents from people, so you would see what they've been providing. But you're right that it is related to political contributions, but I also can tell you that the state of New Jersey, in addition to titling it in such a way that tries to force you to use one position, they also, in the best practices toolkit, which is something that the township has to answer, and if you don't check enough boxes, I think 80%, they start to take away
Your funding.
your funding. Last year, I think one question was the difference between $200,000 or something. Last year, one of their questions was, do you follow the fair and open process? In fact, it wasn't just do you follow the fair and open. Do you have your own municipal ordinance about fair and open process? So the township doesn't have its own ordinance. We couldn't check that box. So I just advise this council that that's something they look at. But those are really the two differences. And if you wanted the list of what the paperwork is between the one and the other, I don't have them in front of me, but I would be happy to get it to you.
Thank you. Have we any other questions from the audience? Okay, hearing no further questions, I take a motion to close the meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
All in favor?
Oh.
All in favor.